It is BBC Radio Suffolk, sunny Monday, 12:15 on the James Hazell Show. Between the pandemic and news coverage about the impact of inhaled environmental pollution, the topic of respiratory health has never been more prevalent. Now, whilst popular forms of exercise such as yoga, Pilates have long impressed the benefits of meditation, it's not something that the average Brit thinks too much about. So, what is there to know about our breathing? And is it really the case that the vast majority of us don't do it properly? And there is, in fact, a better way of doing it. Now, approved and recommended by the NHS, breath work intentionally changes the breath for an extended period to help bring relief with ailments like anger issues, anxiety, chronic pain, depression, PTSD, as well as increasing confidence and self-esteem. Now, joining us on the programme, Nevsah Karamehmet is an international expert in breathing and behavioural sciences, and I'm delighted to be joined by Nevsah. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. That was an amazing introduction.
Thank you for joining us on this Monday. I'm staggered by this. Research reveals we don't know how to breathe as a species. I mean, that is quite remarkable.
Yeah, right.
Basically, what are we doing wrong then?
I think it's very important, first of all, to understand that breathing and respiration are very different from each other. And we all are respirating, but we are not breathing well. So the difference, I think, makes the whole difference.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are various things in life that we all know we could do better. You just assume that by now, after 1 billion years of evolution, we'd have basically got it right. No, but clearly not.
Yeah, exactly. And the new researchers are now finding out that 80% of people have dysfunctional breathing habits. So we kind of as we learn all postural habits and all other behavioral habits, breathing habits are also learned, and mostly unconditionally. So I think that's why we don't realize the importance of, or we don't realize that more than 200 symptoms are right now scientifically proven symptoms of dysfunctional breathing habits. And there are a lot of people who have anxiety, panic attack, attention deficit problems, but nobody thinks it's because of breathing, and yet it might be just because you're breathing wrong.
That is remarkable. So those are some of the main symptoms of not breathing correctly, the ones you've alluded to there, anxiety, panic attacks. I mean, what else should we maybe look out for?
Yeah, and many, like migraine, all kinds of body pain, like especially on the shoulders, back, neck, and some problems also like hypertension problems, some heart problems, some problems in the brain are caused by or perpetuated or exaggerated by breathing habits. So we should all, I think, as a practice, like as we do regular physical exercise, I think it's very important to just have 5 minutes or 10 minutes of breath work every day to just check in how we are breathing, what we are doing, or have breathing analysis from experts. And that's why with all the experts from around the world, we developed a platform called Breath Hub. Now we have an application which can be downloaded from Apple Store and Google Play, and people can analyze their breathing habits. They can find more than 800 different breathing techniques and sessions to choose from to ease the, symptoms, and also to work on the dysfunctional breathing habits and change them.
That is remarkable that it has such an impact. I always assumed that with, for instance, anxiety, it was the other way round, that anxiety would cause, shorter breathing and that kind of thing. But it could actually be the breathing that's causing it in the first place.
Wow. Yeah, it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
Because we're breathing. I mean, but for people who are listening, just start breathing real fast and real shallow and just do it for a minute and check how you're feeling. Yeah, you kind of feel like anxious, hyperactive, can't calm down. And imagine breathing like that for 20 minutes without realizing, because we do that during the day, and then we wonder why we feel so anxious or so stressed or so hyper and can't calm down. Or, you know, many people who have sleeping disorders can't, you know, get to sleep, have minds like crazy minds, monkey minds.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what about days like today? It's very warm, and some people may, in fact, be having difficulty with breath. They may even just notice it when they're outside. Oh, there's not a lot of fresh air out here today. I mean, can we do anything to combat hot days like today?
Sure. First of all, breathing from the nose, especially during hot days like this. I mean, hot and cold, extra hot and cold. We should get back to nose breathing and not breathe from our mouth at all. It's always very much healthier to breathe from the nose, except while we're doing exercise, because when we're doing exercise, our body is creating a lot of lactic acid, so we need to breathe deeper. That's another case. But in hot days and very cold days, breathing through the nose, in and out, and also to shallowing it down and slowing it down will help, because with high temperature we also our heart can't keep up with it, and we kind of have a little bit of a hypertension. That's true for all of us. So slowing down the breath, shallowing down the breath, and breathing from the nose in and out. And of course, taking a few minutes every day, especially in the morning, to just stop, watch your breathing, how you're breathing, connect with your breathing, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Doing some breathing awareness exercises helps a lot.
I always am keen to know if there's any technology available to us to help here. As far as you know, is there anything that can tell us if our breathing is poor or needs to be worked on?
Yeah, there are a few technologies. I mean, we use at the Breathing Sciences School, we use a technology called an educational capnography, but that's for professional use. For anyone who wants to check their breathing, we will have a breathing analysis test ready for them in a week in Breath Hub app. So in a week it will be ready, because we're still working on the technological platform. We're renewing the app almost every month. As you know, the whole application world is a different world. You renew it every few months. And there will be a breathing analysis added, and people can go just download the app and use it for like 7 days. It's free of charge trial, and they can get the breathing analysis and check how well they are breathing, and plus what kind of problems they have related to breathing, because once you answer those questions, you understand what's wrong, or, you know, what's going on with your breathing. We ask you, like, are you out of breath? Do you feel dizzy during the day? Because people don't think dizziness is related to breathing, but it's very much related to breathing. Or we ask questions like, are you having attention deficit problems? Are you finding it hard to concentrate? Do you have fatigue? Do you feel tired at the end of the day? So it's kind of like getting people aware of breathing symptoms, and also, you know, they can find out what they're doing, if they're doing it right or wrong.
Now, I'm going to ask you this, because a lot of people will, I suspect, be thinking about this at the moment, and it is thus: what impact, if any, does a face mask have on your breathing?
That's a great question. Yeah, of course it does have an effect in our breathing, and that's why we have been hearing people, you know, feeling much more depressed because they are using the mask, because we are literally breathing in carbon dioxide, which is not very unhealthy, because we need carbon dioxide at one level when we're breathing. And if we have low carbon dioxide, that's also bad. And there are a lot of overbreathers out there who are, who have a lack of carbon dioxide, which go into, hypocapnia and have all kinds of problems. Yeah. So what happens with the mask is, because we're breathing too much carbon dioxide, we might be going into respiratory acidosis if we use it too much. And that would lead to the common symptom of respiratory acidosis is depression, and kind of like feeling lost, and, like not getting your mind straight, and not being able to, again, concentrate. So I always suggest our students and our clients to take off the mask when they're outside and breathe in some fresh air, especially when they're alone and nobody's around. So it's very important to remember to take it off, go outside and take it off for a couple of minutes. If you're working at a place, you need to use a mask.
Yeah, so we're not talking about where you put one on to pop into a shop for 10 minutes. These are people who are having to wear a mask as part of their, for instance, their working life. You would want to see, I guess, regular mask breaks. Go out and get some fresh air.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't, it wouldn't cause any problem if we're going into a shop for 10 minutes, 15, even like an hour. It wouldn't be that much of a problem. But if you're using it throughout the whole day, I think those breaks are necessary and very much important.
Point us in the direction of where you said this breathing technique help is available, if you would, Nevşah, because that'll be very useful for folk.
Yeah, so anybody can download it from Apple Store or Google Play, depends on which phone you're using. And we also have a website you can get lots of information from. It's www.breathhub.app. And it's a hub where there are more than 250 teachers involved in this project from all kinds of different breathwork schools from all around the world. So they can find all kinds of breathing techniques and all kinds of breathwork methods. There are tens of different courses they can finish, and people can try it for free for a week and then continue. And like I said, in a week, we will have the breathing analysis. They will be able to analyze their breathing habits and check if what they're